The Magic Show is brought to you by StarCityGames.com, and check this out. On Saturday, November 7th, the Star City Games 5K Series comes to Nashville for the first time ever. This event will offer hundreds of players, $5,000 in cash prizes, Zendikar booster drafts all day long, and tons of fun. There's also a Pro Tour San Diego qualifier on Sunday, so make plans to join us at the SCG 5K Nashville, and we'll see you there.
Hello, I'm Mark Rosewater, and this... What's the show called again? Hello, I'm Mark Rosewater, and this is The Magic Show.
Hello everybody, and welcome to another edition of The Magic Show. This week we're going to bring you some of the most exciting footage from Austin you've yet to see, which is that of the new Magic Online UI redesign. There was many a mention from the Magic Online developers on how they were getting a UI expert from Nokia and Microsoft to come help fix the ugly Magic Online interface, and it shows. And we'll also feature a few video extras from Pro Tour Austin. Let's go! So while I was at Pro Tour Austin, I was invited to a special presentation on how the upcoming Magic Online UI redesign is coming, but I think that's actually a misnomer to categorize what I saw as simply a UI redesign. That would imply that Magic Online was simply getting fixed, in as much as they would still have the same fat Windows client, but a few things that are better, like a nicer play area or something. No. This is not that kind of redesign. This is much, much more. This is a complete, and I mean 180 degrees away from anything I ever imagined. Quite simply, Magic Online is getting badass. They're getting rid of the Windows Fat client altogether and are going to run Magic Online in a browser window. Now, think of that for a minute. Think of the long, strange path that Magic Online has taken from the original game Chandelar to Duels of the Planeswalkers. Think of the time and effort that had to go into downloading and installing every electronic Magic game. Now think of simply loading a URL and playing Magic instantly. No weekly updates, just a web page. No download this installer and then let's download all the game content separately. Just a web page. Think of any browser on any platform, Mac, Linux, whatever, platforms that have never even had the chance to run Magic Online before without virtual machines or emulation or whatever. Needless to say, this is huge and will open up Magic Online like never before. Now, the demo I was shown was mocked up through Silverlight, Microsoft's Flash competitor. The key reason for this, I was told, was partially because there is a right-click functionality in Silverlight where there isn't a right-click functionality in Flash. This is set to change in the near future for Flash, and honestly, I don't care really one way or another as to which technology is used. The point is, wow, does it look fantastic. Let's start the demo, shall we? The first thing spoken of were their user research findings. These will come to no surprise to longtime users of Magic Online. Version 3.0's user interface is barely one at all. Important social features like, a decent chat interface are very much lacking in the client without being inundated with other windows or tabs, and the cards themselves can get heavily pixelated and are tough to read and particularly fine in the collection area, and the documentation is lacking, to put it lightly. Now, do note that this redesign you'll see today is merely one part of a complete overhaul of what you and I think of Magic Online. Let's get started. First, Wizards of the Coast did some eye-tracking hotspot research. Now, this is where they have cameras on your eyes while you play the game, and they learn your behavioral patterns via hotspots, where you give significant visual attention, and cold spots where you infrequently look or not at all. Now, from this research, they unveiled a new play scene. Check it out, all seen from within a browser window. Notice how the graphics are razor sharp. The text is beautifully rendered. In fact, all aspects of the card, apart from the art and texture backgrounds, are vector rendered. Now, what does this mean? It means that you can scale the graphics to as large or as small as you want, and it looks just the same. This means readability from tiny text to large text alike. Even the mana symbols are now vector art, so they too scale perfectly. Look at how sharp it shows up here on the Lightwielder Paladin. Ready to see some sexiness? Oh, check out what happens during combat. Oh yeah, That's the red zone, boys. Beautiful and vivid, ready for action. Check out how Sarah goes into the red zone swiftly and smoothly, not tapping, of course, due to vigilance. And in another scene, we actually see some canyon minotaurs turning sideways against an army of grizzly bears. And check out the arrowless blocking. There's no arrows everywhere. This is awesome. The smooth shift of cards as you assign blockers, and it gives you space to see who is blocking whom. When you want to assign the order of blockers, simply put those in front on top of the stack and proceed. No need for numbering with ugly up and down arrow controls for every creature. You see the order in front of you. You may have also noticed the lack of mana symbols that forever live next to your avatar in Graveyard in version 3. Those are no longer here. Instead replaced by pop-up mana symbols, along with their amount, whenever you add said mana to your pool. That is simply efficient and awesome. But we're not done yet. Let's take a look down here in the bottom right of one of my favorite features, the notepad. Oh my God, so simple yet so necessary. It's sad that you currently have to use a different text editor outside the game in order to take notes about the game you're playing. Ish. Think of having a persistent list of possible removal spells your opponent could have or cards you've seen in the match already. So sick. Do note that right now they're working out how to best deal with the chat interface. This problem has been solved before by IM programs, and integration with those in a browser is obviously easy to do. We'll see what they have in store for that little issue, and I'm pretty sure it'll be an improvement when compared to the tab-tastic interface we currently enjoy. Moving on, let's take a look at some cards actually being played. Here we have Sarah Angel attacking, while your opponent is at 5 life. You play the game-winning Glorious Charge. But what's that? Here comes Seismic Strike while that's on the stack. Luckily, you have another Glorious Charge to save Sarah. You can make it transparent to see what's going on in the battlefield while the cards are on the stack, or you can shrink it. Take a look at the targeting of Seismic Strike and how it's communicated. You see a set of triangles around Sarah. You see the card on the stack highlighted at the same time and the same color as Sarah when moused over. After the stack is resolved, check out the damage indicator on Sarah Angel. A hell of a lot slicker than the ugly red number somewhere in its art, no? Take a look at how the stack is represented when triggered abilities go wild. Specifically, separating an ability from a spell in terms of game representation, in terms of how the frames are different. This gives you a clear and easy understanding of what ability is happening and when, easily read text of said ability, and reduces confusion. Moving forward, something you may not have noticed. While looking at creatures on the battlefield, do you notice the lands? Do they seem different? Lands in this UI revamp are actually smaller than their other permanent counterparts. This is rarely noticed but gives significant more space for other permanents and is not missed most of the time. Again, I would like to reiterate this as much as it was reiterated to me. Everything I've shown you in the demo could change. They could not use Silverlight. They could represent the stack and or red zone differently. Chat could be in a different place or whatever. With that said, the possibilities of this are just mind-boggling. Whole Magic Online, the places you'll go. Imagine integrating Facebook with Magic Online, send in a status update that you're playing in the tournament practice room, and provide a URL for your friends to immediately begin spectating. Going from zero to draft in seconds, no longer deterred by set content and card images that need to be downloaded all to your machine. Up next, they said, will be the revamping of the collection screen in the deck editor, a place of pity and scorn for many a user. And considering how incredible the play scene is looking, I am stoked that they'll have something really fantastic, quick, and sleek to show us in regards to those areas of the client. But soon, it won't even be a client. It'll simply be Magic Online. A URL, loaded in seconds, playing in moments, moving forward in sheer gameplay, not 3D avatars and custom granite marble theme crap. I, for one, am stoked, and while I will continue to play Magic Online, no matter what its form, things sure look incredibly good from here. Up next are a few Pro Tour Austin extras. If you can make it, I'll be live this weekend in Nashville, battling at the 5K and rocking the PTQ the next day. Do say hello, and I hope everyone can make the PTQ as well, as I can personally vouch for the Next Level Game Store as being very much awesome. My buddy Donnie Nolan has a great place to game and a huge space across from the store itself in which he holds events. So until next time, Magic players, this is Evan Irwin, tapping the cards so you don't have to.
Okay, Okay, so I talked in my column about how I was tasked by Randy Buehler, who at the time was the director of Magic R&D, to come up with a 5-year plan for Magic. And I ended up coming up with a 6-year plan because I had a lot of cool ideas and I couldn't fit into 5 years. So some people were saying, oh, is Prosper the 6-year plan? No. Prosper was unplanned. We came up with the idea. I can't talk too much about it exactly, but Brian Tinsman is the lead designer for it. He came up with something Tinsman-esque, which is a very, very positive thing. Brian is an out-of-the-box kind of guy. Brian loves to do the thing that's never been done before, and Prosper's a set that does stuff that has never been done before. It is different. I think it's very cool, and in some ways, it's good that it's a one-of, because I don't know you would do a whole block out of it, but as one set, it's very awesome. But anyway, we didn't realize that. I mean, what happened for the Prosper year, or for the whole Zendikar year, is we had a theme. Some people had less faith than I did in it, but it was a new experimental theme. And so the idea was, we had this real cool idea for a single thing, and story-wise it made sense with what's going on in the Zendikar story, which I can't give away, but so it made a lot of sense. Like we had this cool idea for a one-of, and it made sense there, and since we were doing something new and different, we're like, well, let's start it with something small. If it's successful, which it is, we'll do it again. But,
totally
you know,
is.
but anyway, the idea was, we're doing something experimental. It can't hurt to do it small. If we like it, the themes, we'll go back to the themes. And then we had this really cool idea for a large set that thematically made sense story-wise with what Zendikar was doing, and so it all came together. So what is the 6-year plan? So Lights is the culmination of the 6-year plan. It is something, I'm excited. I'm very excited for it. I turned it off already. It's now in development. And, I mean, I'm proud of Zendikar. Zendikar is awesome, but I'm really excited for Lights to come out. I will say this about Lights. There's a lot of things that I've been wanting to do that kind of culminate in Lights. And Lights does a lot of cool things that, it brings a lot of things together. I'll say that. And it is a Rosewater set to bar none. When you will see it, it oozes my design sensibility.
The first thing you really start thinking about is how is this going to play in Limited? That's the first way we tackle a set, not only because Limited is very important, but it's a great way to really experience the whole set, right? If you just attacked it with, well, let's start playing Type 1 with it, you know, or Extended, right, you're just going to be like, well, we're only playing with, you know, 5% of the cards. So the Limited format really gets you exposure to most of the cards, and you're instantly giving feedback. You know, we have something that's, you know, so you start in the design. This is what I'm talking about happens in something that's called Divine, which is between development and design. And it's a lot of feedback. You know, we, the developers, don't have control of the file yet. We give feedback to whoever the lead designer was, and that's the person who can still make the changes. And, you know, we'll say stuff like, oh, this white common, it's not a problem in, you know, standard, but, you know, maybe for Limited it'd be more fun if it was over here. Or this mechanic, you know what, it's just in the wrong spot. Maybe there's another way you can do it, but right now it won't work this way. That's a lot of the valuable feedback that we give. We also ask for, you know, okay, what is the splash? What is, you know, why is this set going to be totally awesome and as awesome as everything that's surrounding it? Sure.
Yeah.
And so that's really what we focus on in the beginning.
That's cool. Zendikar is one of the stories, I talk about this a lot, which is the role of design is to try to go out and do things that haven't been done before. And that means venturing to areas that are unknown. And people fear the unknown because, you know, for example, if I go to my people and say, we're going to do another multicolor set, they go, yay, because they know multicolor is popular with the players. But when I go and pitch something that we've never proven is popular, they're skeptical, which is what they're supposed to be. So when I said I wanted to do a set based around land, they're like, okay, yeah, what else you got? And so Zendikar was definitely something that my little baby that I pushed and said, this is something that I think will work. And I mean, little by little, obviously I got them to agree, but it was definitely an uphill battle because when I first pitched it, literally, like, they're like, yeah, you got anything else? It is nice when a set goes over well. I, as a designer, you know, you like when your work gets appreciated. It's particularly sweet when you fought so hard to get something made and then it goes over so well. That just, you know, like the other day I was talking with Bill Rose, who's the VP of R&D, and he uttered the words, the next time we do a land set. Like, the next time we do a land set, the next, you know, yes. Like, you know, that's a sign that we succeeded when, like, people admit, oh, this works, and we'll probably do it again because it works.
It's the end of the century. I can't think of anything but you.
always liked the fatties.